The Immortal John Hancock here, and today I'd like to do a simple comparison video. I have a lot of games in my collection and a lot of games on multiple formats, and I was in the mood to play an older Star Wars game instead of waiting for a new one to come out, which might be years. I wanted to pull out and play Clone Wars, and I have two versions of it. One on the GameCube and one on the Xbox. I know there was a PS2 version, but the reviews have said that that has a little bit dated graphics, and between these two, they're pretty close. With my new HD add-ons for my GameCube and Xbox, I wanted to see which one looks and plays better. Let's check it out. Alright, these are the three versions of the game I have. The standard Clone Wars GameCube release. It was released on the GameCube first. And they made a player's choice version, and they also made a dual pack, which was a pack-in for the Xbox, which is Tetris Worlds and Clone Wars. And this is kind of an uncommon pack-in. It was around for a bit. Xbox had a lot of pack-ins, and there is I do believe a single release as well. So those are the three versions I have, and yeah, let's go check them out. This is Clone Wars. The Xbox One does have a couple more split screen and multiplayer options. There is System Link with the Xbox version, which is a nice bonus, especially if you have a friend or have multiple TVs and Xbox. I really like that option, and Clone Wars is one of these games that benefits from that. Again, there's some additional options for the Xbox version of this, so I wanted to say that with the multiplayer features. Let's go ahead and show you the game. And I'm just going to choose the easier difficulty just to play. You know, this is just one of the games. This is a game that's, I wouldn't say it's hard to find. It's not super common, but, you know, it's going to be a game that you're going to find, you know, in a relatively, like, probably $5–10 range. It's hard to put a price on games because game prices change all the time, but this is not super sought after. This is a game that doesn't have progressive scan, so this is not going to be a game that is going to look necessarily really pretty. But it's gonna be decent. Now, essentially the game is you control this in the first level, in the first part of the first level, you control this like hover battle tank, and you have another ally that's with you, and you know essentially you have to escort this battle tank, go through the level, and you're playing essentially, you'll eventually be playing as Mace Windu, and you have to just blow up a bunch of tanks around you. Kind of your cool, just like military, just blast stuff out of the water. Kind of mindless fun. It's a nice entry level. It's pretty much a nice level where you can kind of get used to stuff. I like this. Just blow stuff up. I literally haven't played this game in 15 years. That's the last time I booted this up. Yeah, and actually, for this review, for this video, I actually went back and did see Clone Wars. And, the movie is just not my favorite. I have to admit, you know, I grew up with the original trilogy. I think it's pretty hard to deal with the romance in episode 2. And some people, including a good friend of mine, he thinks it's actually worse than episode 1 because of the dialogue. Dialogue is pretty tough. Alright, so you blow up some things, and then it showed this is pretty much an intermission to say, hey, pick up these things to increase your health and weapons. And this is a game, if you don't do the right thing, you're not going to get past it. And actually, the second part of this level is actually harder. But you know, I think you know with the whether you're using the component, the HD component cable for Xbox, or the new HD adapter that they've just released. I did a video on. This looks decent. You know, this looks a decent. This is a decent game. It's not going to have some of the bells and whistles of some of the other games, but it's fun. I like the Rogue Squadron, like Jedi Starfighter games better. But, you know, I wanted to play this. You know, this is a game that's on both GameCube and Xbox. It looks better. It looks better on Xbox. Xbox was a little bit more powerful than the GameCube, and has a couple more multiplayer options. Now, for people that own a GameCube, though, it's no slouch. I mean, it's a decent Star Wars game. And, you know, if you're a big Star Wars fan, then pick this up. Pick this up. Solid. A solid multiplayer kind of fun Star Wars romp. You know, it's got some multiplayer options here. Control's good. And it's kind of cool. It takes place right after the movie. So if you're a big Star Wars fan, and maybe you didn't pick this up, you know, it's like anything. This is one of those games where, yeah, I'll eventually get around to playing it, you know, or I'll pick it up later, or, you know, if I get a good deal on it. This is a game that's going to be at like your local game store, or even, you know, I'll put some links below. It's looking at Amazon, it's pretty cheap. So, you know, this is a game that you can probably get relatively cheap. And for someone that's, you know, wanting to play something new, or not new, but per se, something to just, so you got to go up this ledge here. Blast stuff. You also have missiles. I'm saving the missiles because you do run out of them pretty fast. You do get replenishments, but all right. Pretty mindless game. You know, and sometimes I really get in the mood for games like this, you know, where you don't have to think. You just kind of blowing stuff up. You know, it's Star Wars based. It's one thing about the movie that kind of got a little bit old, and I like it that in Clone Wars that they added villains other than kind of the droid army, and so you had the Geonosians. Those were kind of cool. And so in the first level, so this next part, you have to escort, and your partner here can't die. So you see her health is a little bit down. So it's important to not blast, because you can, I do believe, damage her. It's important to just keep up with her, escort her, and to make sure that pretty much your co-pilot here, your buddy, doesn't die. All right. But I said before, you know, the Xbox version does look better. But I think it's close. You be the judge. I'm doing kind of a comparison video. Again, you know, half the reason I'm doing this video is just to kind of try some different things. I like to kind of stretch to see what I'm capable of doing videos, and you know, I was kind of in the mood for these. I had both versions. You know, I'd like to possibly do more videos like this. I have so many games on multiple consoles. It'd be kind of cool to like compare both versions. You know, it's one thing with a crazy game collection is that you don't have to worry about the games, which is, you know, as game prices go up on everything, it's really nice to just not have to worry about that. It's like, oh, I got that in my collection. I can take that and play it. All right, the winner, in my opinion, Xbox. Has some added multiplayer options, system link, which is awesome. I love that. And it just looked better. It looked better. They both played the same. Sound, from what I hear, the sound options on the Xbox are a little bit better. So again, you decide. You know, with these recent HD options for these consoles, some people are going to go and find that these games that are 15 years old don't look too bad. And you know, this game is far from perfect. It's not exceptionally, you know, one that I would say, oh my gosh, it's amazing. But you know, if you're looking for a Star Wars game you haven't played through for the 15th time, this is something to check out. I want to thank everybody for looking at this video. This was a fun one to do. I'm still doing 3 videos a week. I also have a Patreon in which, for as little as $1 a month, you can support me there and get an exclusive video every month. Folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the immortal John Hancock. Take care.